Hi everybody, this is Madhav here, and today I'm going to review Originality AI. It's a brand new tool. It's a plagiarism checker as well as an AI detection tool, and I think the latter is what it's kind of differentiating itself for. Like it's primarily an AI detection tool, an AI content detection tool, and as well as plagiarism checker, and they claim to be quite accurate. And I've heard a lot of reviews about them, and I just thought I'd try it today. And especially because we're kind of in an age now, where AI content and AI copywriting is like really exploding right now. And, it kind of makes sense. There are a lot of content teams and content publishers, don't want, like AI content on their blogs. They want, legit content. So for, those reasons, originality AI was created. All right. So, and it's, first of all, in this review, I'm going to cover, like, give you a walkthrough of the platform, share some pros and cons, the pricing, um, and just like an overall take at, if it makes sense to buy this or not. So, like, you can basically go to Originality, sign up, and then when you sign up, you basically see a dashboard here. The dashboard is fairly basic, and that's kind of okay because that's exactly what it does. It's supposed to be basic. Um, Now you have a couple of options, right? You can do a content scan, which is basically, you add, paste a piece of content, kind of like what you have in the Grammarly plagiarism checker, um, and you know, like the other plagiarism checkers. You basically go in here, right? You click on new content scan, and then you can basically add the content, right? So let's try something, right? Like let's see uh, if a certain piece of content is actually written by AI or not. All right. And let's see how accurate they are, right? So I'm going to take, something that's kind of like on page 3 or page 4, just because the chances of AI content might be higher there. Um, let's take this guy. All right. I'm sorry, I lamb Batman, but you're the guinea pig today. um, okay. All right. So let us kind of um let's kind of take this piece. Then I'm just gonna see if this particular text is, has AI in it and has plagiarism as well. So first of all, you can just, do a, simple AI detection, or you can do an AI detection or plagiarism checker, or you can do an only plagiarism check, right? And it basically the pricing is based on, like, I think 100 words per credit or something like that. um and so, for every tool it's an additional credit, right? So for AI detection, it's 1 credit. For plagiarism checker, it becomes 2 credits. So let's just kind of see how this kind of turns out to be. um and apparently, Originality AI says that they can scan GPT-3, GPT 3.5, Chat GPT content, any of the others, right? And all right, super interesting. All right, so they claim that there's a lot of plagiarism in the content, and it's 99% AI, which is pretty interesting, right? Like, um, quite good actually. Um, okay. Sorry. So basically, what it did was, obviously it's plagiarized because I copied it from another article, right? But I'm glad this works, right? It shows that this particular piece of content works, but it is 99% AI, right? Which is quite surprising, right? And when they, you know, when you see the 1% original, 99% AI, it doesn't mean 99% content is AI and 1% is original. What they basically mean is that there's a 99% chance that this is AI and there's a 1% chance that this is original. Okay. That's basically how they see it right now. let's kind of um, let's kind of try to see for another article. Um, I'm gonna take this one, growth bar SEO, and for this purpose, because it's already kind of a published piece. How about I just kind of just gonna take this bit just as a checking point, right? And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna click on new, add this in here, and skip the plagiarism check because I know that it's already out there, right? And let's see if it detects AI, and it did, right? And this is super interesting, right? Like it's actually pretty accurate than it means, right? Now let's see one of my own articles, right? I know I wrote this article by hand. Uh, it did not use AI. So it'd be interesting how well it detects, right? So I'm just gonna take this bit, right? I'm gonna add this in here. Let's scan it. Of course, the longer piece of content. Wow, it's interesting, right? It's interesting that it says 7% AI because I did use an AI assistant to reframe certain sentences. So 93% is original, 7% is AK. So far it's been actually pretty accurate and I'm pretty impressed by the content scan. Now sometimes for, randomly, that I'd say like 1 out of 10 times it's not like fully accurate, right? So another example, let's say, is I'm gonna take a piece. Let's take this one in here, and then let's take something that's a little bit more specific, right? Um, I'm gonna take this piece, right? Now I know I wrote this by hand. I did use AI content as a way to rephrase some sort sentences, right? I'm gonna click on scan. I'm also gonna click on plagiarism check to see if it finds it. But it's pretty impressive. I mean, like the way it was able to catch. I don't know how they're doing it. Like, I don't know if they're understanding how AI writes stuff or what, but this is super interesting, right? So 93% original, 7% AI, which is kind of absolutely correct. Like this is exactly my content, right? And it did detect the plagiarism, so it did find, right? So it works pretty well. Like so far, 4 out of 4 have been quite accurate. Now let's go into the website scan. So what it can also do is it can scan a particular website, right? So you can basically put in your website, and then it'll basically look at your site map and find all of the pages, scan them, and then just kind of give you a breakdown of like how many like how much plagiarized content you have, how much you don't, right? And it's a good way sometimes to assess if a site is worth getting a backlink from or not, if it's a spammy site or not. Like there are multiple use cases. I'm not going to run this because I'm going to run out of my credits, but you can basically do that. Now, you can also have bunch of team members in here. If you're a content team and you have content marketing manager and certain editors and everything, you can add them all in here. So they can kind of run their own tests, and that is basically it. This is the entire tool. You can do a content scan, you can do a website scan, and it detects AI and it detects plagiarism, and does it pretty well. Now, in terms of pricing, the way they've basically priced it is it's $0.01 per credit, and a credit scans 100 words, right? So, for example, for a 2000 word post, it'll probably cost you something like $0.2, which is actually cheaper than Grammarly, Plagiarism Checker, or Copyscape, and all of the others. And not only does it check for plagiarism, it also checks for um, AI, AI copy, which the other two don't really do at the moment. Now, like, I guess the pros, and like, let me just first kind of discuss the pros, right? It's a super simple interface. It's super affordable. It actually gives you more than a plagiarism checker. Something that's AI detection is something that is needed in today's times, and it does, at least through my test, did it fairly well. And then I think the user interface is fairly easy to use, overall, and easy to scan and everything. Um, and yeah, I mean, like, I don't think there's a lot you can kind of say about it. Just it works the way it advertises. Now, let me just talk about cons, right? So the first is you didn't see that right now, but sometimes when you're running a content scan, they sometimes have this issue of like high traffic coming onto our site, and we're not able to get that, right? So for example, if I click on my scans, we're unable to load your scans because we're experiencing high traffic volumes and are working on resolving this issue, right? So sometimes these things break, but I guess the tool is in beta, so we can't really say much, right? Then I think the second thing is while the AI detection worked fairly well in this video test, right? I did run it uh, for some other pieces, right? And sometimes the results weren't 100%, or weren't accurate, right? So I wouldn't completely rely on originality AI to like know if a piece of content is AI or not, because frankly, sometimes people can just, like, you can basically hash together content and like really, work on it to make it look like it's an original piece of content and it's helpful, and as long as it's helpful, it's fine. And originality, I won't be able to catch that, but I think it will be able to catch any of the low quality pieces. I think it's very good at catching content which has just been generated from an AI tool and then just put on in an article, right? So this is particularly great, let's say, if you're accepting guest posts, right? And you get a guest post from a from somebody, and then you run it through originality and you find that it's AI content which could hurt your site. You can probably say no to that. um, and then it's also helpful, if you're working with a set of writers and they send you this piece of content, you see that there's majorly AI in it, then again, it works. And the thing is that you can also kind of get when you read through the content, but this is a good way to quickly do that, right? So the first thing could be that you once you get a piece of content from a writer, you put it through originality AI, and then you basically assess and what the scores come out to be, right? And it does like a first level filtering. So now let's say, for example, a piece of content passes the originality AI test, then you do a manual review, right? If it doesn't pass the originality AI test, then you can probably be more sure that the piece of content won't be right. So it's I would there's a I would say originality AI, the way it works is that you know if if a piece of content is flagged as AI content, right, then it needs that then it's probably AI. But if it's not flagged as AI content, right, that doesn't necessarily mean that it's not AI content. You still need to do a manual review. I don't know if that makes sense, but that's just my assessment about originality AI. um the last thing, I guess, is just, like, would I recommend you to buy this? I think it's absolutely worth the cost, because it's like, it's cheaper than, your regular plagiarism checker. You get plagiarism checker as well as AI detection, and I think they're going to kind of improve over time for sure. So I think it's a good thumbs up from my side. If you like this review, I would definitely ask you to consider buying Originality AI through my affiliate link in the description below. It'll not cost you anything, but it'll help me create more videos like this to help you make decisions about buying a certain tool or not, right? So I hope this video is helpful. If you want to kind of share more, if you want to kind of follow, our journey, you can basically, subscribe to our YouTube channel. You can see all of the other softwares we've reviewed. And I wish you a wonderful day ahead. Take care.